All right. Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jay. I got a very special guest in the building. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
I'm Bekoe, CEO, founder of iLLANOiZE. What it is, Jay?
Boss talk.
What's cracking, man?
Man, what's crazy, I'm like, man, I got to get Bekoe on the show.
Stop lying.
Nah, for real. It was going to happen, you feel me? But today it just happened. It just came together like that. So I got to start from the beginning with you. So,
Okay.
what side of Chicago are you from?
West Side? Yes, sir. West Side. Born and raised West Side. Started over in K-Town, Cosner and Kenneth. Transitioned from Cosner and Kenneth to over on Jackson, where the Foes was created over there by like Delano High School, Springfield area. It's funny because I recently, 4th of July, we went to my sister crib. She stayed over in L-Town.
Right.
Stayed over there too, you feel what I'm saying? But my brother, he came to visit for the 4th, and we rode back through our old parts of the town. Still the same shit.
Don't it make you feel different? Like you would ride past somewhere you used to walk past. Like, damn, man, I remember being a kid coming up over here.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy because we never thought we was going to get old. We
At all.
Like, man, I can't wait to get old. Now we old and shit. We like, damn.
Yeah.
Look at life.
Time, it just shows you how fast time flies. And going through that area on Jackson over there, I'm gonna say we was passing by Pulaski. We was on like Pulaski and Jackson. It's a store over there.
Right.
It just brought me back to when we used to walk to that store, get goodies and things of that nature. To see it still there, and then see that some of them buildings still there in the same condition. Just like, damn, man, what's going on?
Now, from the time you was a kid to now, seeing that little transition in the culture or the surrounding areas, how much do you think that neighborhood has changed, and how much of that has changed for the good?
Like I just stated, ain't nothing changed. I can't really speak of any good yet because nothing's changed in that area.
Right.
When we was riding through, cops was there, yellow taped off some stuff. I mean, already pulling people over. I don't know if something happened that day. Like we must have been driving through at a time something happened, but that's how that area been.
Right.
So it's kind of like I can't really speak on no good change. I still see the same thing. One thing I can say is funding is needed. And certain areas can utilize funding, and that is one area that can utilize it.
And it's crazy because, like, growing up, I probably was on the west side only to see family members, and that wasn't that often. So if I had to count, I probably was out west probably like 7 times, before I was an adult.
What's your thoughts on the west side?
I always was weary of the west side because, once again, I'm from the south side or the east side, whichever one you want to say. And going to the west side, it was like a culture shock, honestly, because I always used to look like one thing I know about the west side, every time I've ever been over there, I always seen a police chase. You know what I'm saying? Every time. But at the same time, it was still, I would say on the west side, you still got that neighborhood feel where everybody on the block know each other, everybody friendly with the neighbor. So if something happened, the people on the block know exactly who did it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say about the west side. But once again, I wasn't eager to always go that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I chose to stay where
South.
I was at. You know what I'm saying? And then I never knew how to navigate those streets either.
Yeah, cause y'all, y'all street out south, which I'm over east now, but streets is mainly numbers.
Right.
Of course, you got some name streets. Of course,
Out west, you on
it's all names.
Laramie and Halsted. Like, where the fuck am I at? You know what I'm saying?
It's all names. I mean, you got, of course, side blocks that's got numbers, but majority of our main streets is names. So,
Okay, now, your full name is Stephen Bekoe, right?
you messed up right there.
Stefan?
Nope.
Go ahead. Stephan.
Stephen Bekoe. I'm not giving you the middle name, but it's majority. Yes, I'm African. Half and half. My father's African. My mom, of course, she from Chicago.
Right.
Met my father, and yeah, they gave me that unique name, Stephen Bekoe. And I named my son Stefan because that's the name I wanted. So
Now, do you have that African background in you? Like, are you one with your roots, I would say?
I would have to say no. I would say I would like to get more, within that culture, but honestly, my father was busy.
Right.
So he never really had time to really teach us about his culture. Of course, he's pure African.
Right.
But as far as him being in America, he's always been working, musically inclined. That's how he got to America, from music, touring, landed here, and then from there, he had to make a choice, music or family. He chose family, and he just turned into a working man. So honestly, my pops, he, from all the work that he was putting in to keep a roof over our head and keep us fed, he really didn't have much time to, I guess, share that culture, which I feel like I wish he would have. So I wish I would know the language. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I'm outside looking into the culture of, what Africa is.
Right. Is that a dream of yours to travel to Africa?
Hell yeah.
And put your feet on the ground?
Hell yeah. Like the pictures my pops be showing me, he's actually moving back to Africa soon. He got a nice house he been working on for some years. Big dumbass house. And just looking at the pictures, I'm like, yo, this is somewhere that I want to visit. And it's beautiful. It's not what you see on TV.
Now, that's what I was finna get into, because, we get the pictures of Africa, and it's horrible. We could just be honest and say that. But that's something that media portrays. And one thing I can say about Africa, it's full of natural resources.
Full.
So, like, how can somewhere full of natural resources be depicted as somewhere so poor? You know what I'm saying?
See, I feel like you just said, media do that for a reason, yo. Think about it.
Crazy.
When we was in school, right? They was teaching us about Egyptians and this and that, and who faces was in these books?
Facts.
White people. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it as if, media do a lot with hiding who we are as people, who black people are, because they know we sacred.
Right.
And in order to keep us locked in a box, you got to keep them people away from what their culture, their meaning, and just keep them away from knowledge. So that's what it is. It's media, man.
Facts. Because it's so crazy that a lot of people don't even know Egypt is in Africa. Like, you ask somebody where Egypt at, they don't have no clue.
They think it's Egypt.
You feel me? So that's crazy. But now, your last name is Bekoe. Now, I know that got like some type of spiritual meaning to it.
Of course. Well, Bekoe, original Steve Bekoe, of course, from Africa. He was a activist. Like how people are fighting for freedom now. Same exact guy fighting for freedom, for his land, his people. I still got to do more research on him. But I definitely know that police killed him. You know what I'm saying? For fighting the acts for being brave and standing up, like Malcolm X, like a Dr. Martin Luther King. They killed him. Drugged this man on a dirt road for some miles. Literally tortured this man for what he believed in, which was the right thing.
Right.
And but yeah, that's where my name derived from, Steve Bekoe. And that the original Bekoe is spelled Biko. Mine's Americanized, which is Bekoe, and they pronounce it differently in Africa. I believe it's Bekoe. Here we say Bekoe. So,
all right, now I want to know, because you say your father was musically inclined, so I'm assuming that's where the passion for music came from.
Definitely. So
what type of musician was your father?
Man, he was more on the I'm gonna say Africana, if that makes sense. He's more, he was saying he was in terms of American, I'm gonna say he was R&B, but in African terms, he was Africana. You know what I'm saying? It was more so like the reggae, the bongos, the saxophones. I mean, I wish I still got a CD. I wish I could play it, but yeah, my dad definitely influenced me musically from the rhythms and things he kept me around, his band and all that. So
what age would you say you got started?
Super young. I mean, I remember, man, I probably was under the age. I'm gonna just say, because I can't give you a specific age. I'm gonna say under 5. I remember being in rehearsals with my father. I remember him bringing a band to the crib, and they were rehearsing in the basement. I'm little at this time, you know what I'm saying? I remember him taking me to studios, And I ain't talking about your hole in the wall studios.
Real.
I'm talking real studio with multiple studio A, B, C through Z in that mug. And with me being young, of course, I'm gonna get tired.
Right.
These studios even had sleeping rooms. Cause some artists go in the studio and be in there all day.
24-hour blocks.
Exactly. So they had rooms where you can get you some rest. And that's why I'll be watching, and then when I get tired, I go in the room and go to sleep. And it was just dope to see a full band record. Not just, nowadays there's a lot of just artists, mic, you know what I'm saying? No, when I was with my father, it was full orchestrated band.
Right, you getting all the instruments.
Exactly, in one recording.
So that slowly seeped into your blood, and then at some point you say, all right, man, I'm a rap. When did that transition come?
I mean, I was always one to have some words. I would always had a way with words since I want to say third grade, maybe. Once I learned about poetry, that's the best way to put it. When I learned about poetry, that's when I started to get hip with music. Of course, my sister and them would play Pac and them, Biggie. But what really got me was, I want to say it was I started producing first. And I was using Fruity Loops, went from Fruity Loops to, giving my beats to people in the area. And I'm just like, you know what? How about I rap on my own beats? That's when the motivation really came off of my production.
Right.
Like, you know what? I think it'd be dope if I actually drop some bars over my own beats. And yeah, got in the studio, met up with Passport Trace. Trace was one of the first studios I ever recorded in out west, over in K-Town. We was in the basement. And I got my start there with recording.
Now,
2009.
I actually met you through the music, you know what I'm saying? So we linked through the internet, you know what I'm saying? At the time, you had a song called Oh Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people don't know how successful that record was for you.
It was a very successful record. Yo.
Talk your shit on that boy.
I mean, like when I first made that record, I felt that it was going to do what it did. I just had a feeling.
It was a solid ass record.
It was a solid record. The energy was there when I laid the verse that I'd never forget. I went to the studio to my homie Quade crib. He got a studio in his basement. Heard the beat. C6 sent me a pack over. That was one of the beats that really I took interest in. Took it to the studio that same week. Literally one verse. I mean, not one verse, but you know what I mean. I laid it down with one take. Laid it down. From there, I knew. I'm like, yo, this gonna be a record. Just got to push it and get it right. So I had Quade mix it. Right. I sent it over to my homie Headache over at Classic Studios. These were the two engineers I worked with. Headache did what he did, mixed it down, got it mastered for me, added his spin to it. After that, it was a wrap. Me and Freddie B, he was my manager at the time, started playing it around for DJs. We played it to like all DJ All Style, DJ K Caesar, Phantom. We played it at we did like a DJ panel. It was called DJ Talk or something like that. Played it at the panel. They loved it. I mean, from there, yeah, the song, we released it. I did a record pool distribution. When I say distribution, I ain't talking about your Apple Music.
Break it down.
I ain't talking about your Spotify. I ain't talking about going through DistroKid and all this extra BS. I'm talking about actual record distribution, where you send your record and you put it in a record pool. And once we put it in the record pool, now you got DJs from all over in these record pools. It's multiple record pools you can put your records in too. And from there, that record just gravitated to more and more DJs around the globe. And yeah, it became a success for me. I remember France. People out in France was remixing all year like crazy.
What was that feeling like?
It's a great feeling. I mean, it was like, damn, my music this is when I learned how big of a world it is outside of Chicago.
Right.
That was that feeling right there. I'm like, damn, Chicago is just a small little bubble on the map. You know what I'm saying? My music just went from here to Africa. I hit the charts in Africa. I had people in France doing freestyles over it and giving me credit. You know, some people would do freestyles on your shit and act like it's theirs. Right. But no, like, yeah, once I saw that the music started circulating, Texas. Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Hold on, it's gonna come to me. OG Ron C them. Shout out to them boys over there for showing love. Texas, New York. Man, it was just so many people that was spinning it.
It was spreading.
Yeah.
And you actually charted.
Yes.
What did you chart at?
Well, the album, because I put the song on iLLANOiZE album. I charted on iTunes, on the iTunes charts. Right. I charted at 83 on like top new hip hop artists. That's why I charted at. And I didn't even know what the hell that meant.
Right.
I'm like, this is new. What I to pretty much say it, I didn't know what that meant for me.
We just gonna say you was humble in the moment. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
But you understood the I'm gonna say deep business behind the music industry. Because once again, most people just put their music on the streaming platforms, send it to blogs, and they just sit on the record and hope organically that somehow it's gonna actually do what you assume it's gonna do.
Ooh, yeah.
But you had a solid game plan behind it. So I want you to speak on how important the business behind the music is.
The business behind the music is by far more important than the music itself. I want everybody out there watching to understand that it's business before music. If you watch some of my other interviews, you'll understand I've been saying this since day one. It should be business music, not music business, because your business have to be in order. A lot of these records that these record labels push, they put a lot of marketing strategies behind it. I'm talking about it's teams that push these records, not just the artists. Take a look at when Dame Dash snapped on record executives for doing something with Jay-Z back in the day without his acknowledgement. If you look at that video of Dame snapping, you see a room full of people to push some music. So yeah, it's definitely business before music. You have to understand and come up with a plan on pushing your music. It's not just I'm gonna release this single and it's gonna blow up. No, you gotta actually have a plan for that and get with the right people that can actually help you get to where you need to be or get your music to where it needs to be.
Now, after a successful music career, you say, I want to jump into the media lane. So what caused you to say, man, I go be good at that too?
So I always felt like my music career could have been even more successful. Honestly, that's really what led me into media. I felt like, you know how you spoke on blogs earlier and things of that nature. I felt like with the creativity I had and the music I was putting out, it wasn't getting the recognition it deserved. And not even just me. I mean, not even just me. I know a bunch of artists, you know, that's super talented. They weren't getting the recognition either. So I just felt like it was time to move from the music because I felt like I wasn't getting what I deserved.
Right.
And I knew of other artists that deserved that same spotlight. So that's what really made me transition to the music. Transition to media.
Nah, you make that transition and you start a website. Now, the website was originally called iLLPort, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what made you say, okay, iLLPort ain't it? I got an album called iLLANOiZE. Let me actually make iLLANOiZE the brand. So,
at the point where I switched over from iLLPort to iLLANOiZE was, you know, with iLLPort, I looked at iLLPort as a partnership. It was iLLANOiZE Passport. At that time, I just felt like I was doing a lot of the work. And I just felt like I was kind of like by myself. Though Passport was doing what he was doing out here in the streets, doing the videos, of course, we just saw things differently. So I'm like, well, hell, my main focus is media. Right. You know, he on the video, in the video lane. I don't want to clash that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just transition and make everything iLLANOiZE. So I'm going to transition to iLLANOiZE and make iLLANOiZE that media platform. So that's what I did. I let go of iLLPort. I started working on iLLANOiZE, and I just kept that same passion of what I was doing with iLLPort, but I just pushed it on iLLANOiZE and just kept it moving. I'm like, you know, people already know me from iLLANOiZE, and it just made me go even harder because it's something that I created.
Right.
And so that's really what made me transition from iLLPort to iLLANOiZE. And iLLANOiZE was, at first, it was with the shirts. And the way that came about was one of the customers came up to me and was like, hey, people ask for these shirts, but when I send them to Illinois, to a Illinois site, you don't have one.
Right.
That was another motivation towards, okay, I got to build this site. And yeah, I made it happen. And now people can easily buy merch as well as check out, artists from check out music from upcoming artists as well as artists that's hot. So
now, of course, I know, the soon to be mega entity that iLLANOiZE is. Mm-hmm. But you went from music to a website, and now you got a radio station. Like a radio station. So not just no little shit. You got a real live 24/7 radio station. Mm-hmm. Like where did that idea come from?
Man, well, with creating iLLANOiZE back, building a website to iLLANOiZE back in 2016, because iLLANOiZE has been around since 2013. I was just like, you know what? I need something more than just putting up posts and blogging. I need something that'll really give us a voice. Right. And that came across my mind because of Brian Stinson. Shout out to Brian Stinson over at WIIT with Fusion Radio. He interviewed me several times, and one day go in there for an interview, and he says to me, "Hey, you should do an artist takeover." So I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Plugged you right in the game.
And he was, dude, you have an amazing voice for radio. I think you should give it a try. So I'm going to have you do an artist takeover and interview somebody, and you're going to control the show. From that day, it did motivate me. That's why I say big shout out to Brian, because he took a chance and was like, bro, you don't just have to make music. There's other avenues out here to be creative. And that's what led me into thinking about, okay, I think it'll be dope to do iLLANOiZE radio show. Uh-huh. Of course, iLLANOiZE radio show didn't come like that.
Most people think you just wake up and then boom, it's there.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So please go ahead, break down the process.
You know I am.
You got time.
iLLANOiZE radio show did not come in like this. It took about 2.5 years. I kept getting those. I'm gonna tell y'all who I reached out to. Of course, I reached out to WIIT to do a radio show. They responded, but of course, no love. A lot of colleges in general, because I reached out to a lot of colleges, they have a certain guideline where they can only allow 20% of community DJs on their station because it's college. It's for the students. So UIC showed love too. I was actually about to be on UIC before joining Logic.
Right.
So but things worked out to where I joined Logic Media Group. They gave me an opportunity. Of course, I had to stand on that though. People don't understand it. I ain't just reach out and they was like, sure. No, I reached out to Logic, followed up. With all these stations, followed up. Logic gave me a response back. And from there, iLLANOiZE radio show was born in October of 2017. And like you said, station. So the way iLLANOiZE radio transitioned into a station was, I never thought about creating a radio station, never.
Right.
I was really standing on being a radio show and just syndicating us through different networks and stuff. But I was trying to partner with Logic. I really wanted to partner with Logic Media Group and, bring a new taste, help out and things of that nature. It kind of, sort of, I don't know. I guess I'm going to just say it didn't work out to how we would have liked it to work out. So I'm like, well, forget it. You know what? I'm not finna keep trying to bargain and partner with someone that may not want to partner right now.
Right.
So I'm like, it's best that we just go our own way anyway. I'm like, we got a full developed platform. And that's what we did. We branched off, created our own station, and iLLANOiZE radio station was born.
Now, it's crazy because a lot of people, once again, going back to what you said, a lot of people just think shit happened. Mm-hmm. Now, you put 2.5 years of building your own, your own brand to the point that you were confident enough to say, hey, I could do all this by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, talk about how much perseverance played into that shit. Because you could have said, nah, I'm cool with the Illport. I ain't going to make no website. or I'm cool with just the website. I don't need a radio station. So how much did perseverance play into that?
Perseverance played a huge role. I mean, me, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm the type of person where I'm not trying to put myself in a box. I'm not that type of person. I want to bust out that box and explore. You know what I'm saying? I want to explore and I want to learn. So that's really what the grind was for me. Is just learn more, do more, learn more, do more. Of course, you got to stay humble with it and know why you're doing it. That was one of the biggest things for me. Just know why I'm doing it and stick to that mission statement. Right. And, you know, so perseverance definitely played a huge role in just really wanting to do more. Because some people get stuck in that position where they just feel that's it for them. But nah, for me, no.
Now, iLLANOiZE is based in Chicago.
Yes, sir.
And we know we hear Chicago this, Chicago that. Chicago don't look out. Chicago got a crabs in a barrel mentality. Chicago, you can't get your music business, nothing straight in Chicago. So how have you been able to navigate or at the same time change how Chicago is being viewed?
First and foremost, don't listen to none of that shit.
Real.
What you just said, look, all that shit go in this ear and out the other, because once you start thinking that, then yeah, you gonna put yourself in the box. You gonna be a standstill. You know what I'm saying?
In all those positions.
Exactly. So that's one thing. I mean, I hear Chicago this, Chicago that. Well, me, I'm like, well, if y'all feel that way, how in the hell can I change that narrative? You know what I'm saying? How can I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna say we, because iLLANOiZE is a team. I always think of how can we change that narrative and show people Chicago ain't like nothing y'all talking about. I mean, it's of course certain people feel a certain way about the city, but if you actually not out here grinding and looking for opportunity, well, then you just gonna be blind. But Chicago is definitely not a crab in a bucket. I mean, I'm gonna say this because we can be. Don't get me wrong, we can be. But there are still platforms out here that aren't crabbing the buckets and just trying to get over on you and benefit off of you and soak up all your energy. There are platforms out here that do care and want to help people get to the next level. It's just artists and creatives in general. They got to get out that ego. Y'all got to take them egos away and throw that shit in the garbage. That's how I feel, man.
At some point, you become the host of Bekoe Radio.
Yes, sir.
How the fuck? You know, because, okay, you start your own radio station. Boom, you have your own radio station. And then you actually get on a real FM station that I can listen to in my car. I could just turn it down to 91.1 and I got Bekoe in the middays.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So, I mean, shout out to this man Nip behind me. Most definitely got to shout out that man. You know, he's just, if you really listen to Nip and understand what Nip was trying to do, he'll help you elevate your mind as well. That's off topic, but I just want to let y'all know that because he don't get enough credit he deserved. He got all the credit after he passed. Right. But with Bekoe, so the iLLANOiZE Radio was still a show at the time of me joining Bekoe. We were still under Logic Radio, but the way I joined Bekoe was I went and got it. Like, I reached out to Bekoe. They didn't reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got to understand everything's not going to come to you. Right. Shit ain't handed to you. You got to go and get it. So I reached out to Bekoe, but I reached out to Bekoe for some other business. That other business led me into being their midday host. You know, so it was a shock to me because honestly, when I reached out to them on other business, which I can't say yet in due time, you know, they offered the position to me to be a midday host, and I actually said no.
Turned it down.
I turned it down. Yeah, I turned it down. Like, I know, right? I turned it down, yo. But I'm like, you know what? What in the hell am I doing?
Right.
The next day, right, I reached back out like, wait, you know, can I get some more details on this and that? They provided me with the details, and I'm like, you know what? God, you right. I tweet. What the hell was I doing talking about some no? This is a life-changing experience for me. I'm like, and this is a great opportunity that many can never say they have received. Like, think about it. People that broadcast normally go to school for it.
People that go to school can't even get
on radio. You know what I'm saying? So when I really thought about the opportunity, I'm like, nah, let me go back, hit them back up. I said, I'm down. Right. I had that resume in that day, cooked up a resume, and I did all the requirements needed. And yeah, I became Vocalo's midday host. And one thing I want to say about Vocalo is, you know, Chicago, you know, everybody that's watching, y'all need to open y'all eyes. Again, I spoke on platforms that care. Vocalo is one of those platforms that cared, which is one of the reasons why I originally reached out. It's the same vision.
Right.
They care about the creatives here in this city. And I feel like they're one of the best stations in the city. I don't care about, of course, the other stations. They do what they do, but I really feel like Vocalo is one of the best terrestrial stations out there. And they're non-commercial, and you know, it's just really up to everybody watching, artists, creatives, to understand that. And like I said, just do your research, and you will see that every platform in Chicago ain't a crab in a bucket. So
now, that the story of you being a rapper, getting the opportunity to co-host a radio station just one time. Has turned into you actually being a full-time radio host.
Yes, sir.
So that's why you just said, like, the opportunities don't just come to you.
No.
But at the same time, when the opportunities present themselves, it's like, do you take it or do you turn it down? Because we talk about faith and not knowing what the future holds for us, but it's certain things in our lives that align and set us up for the future. So it's crazy. I'm pretty sure you didn't see the vision for that, but you stayed the path though. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. Now, it's 2020, man. This has been a difficult year for some with COVID. So how has COVID changed how Bekoe handles business?
COVID has opened my mind up so much more. Like, I see life differently in a way that I would say most wouldn't understand. I look at COVID as a blessing. You know what I'm saying? As a blessing and a curse, of course, but more so for me, a blessing, because now I have time to spend with my family. I have time to learn more about what I want to do. I got more time on my hands. More time means more thinking, means more possibilities, means, you know, more ideas. So COVID for me really, it just really opened up my mind and really led me to see the possibilities of what I can do as a person and what I'm doing now, how what I'm doing now can help others. So, I mean, like I said, COVID was definitely I ain't gonna say it's a blessing for everybody, because trust me, everybody ain't eating right now.
Right.
It's people struggling for real. So, you know, but and for me, I'm happy that I know that and I understand that. You know, though things have been working out for me, it could have been opposite. So COVID, like I said, was a blessing and a curse. And, you know, for me, it just made me think more about what I need to do with myself.
Right.
And grow, you know, grow things around me. And I feel like things been working out. Been reading more, you know what I'm saying? Been reading more, been thinking more, been creating more. So that's what COVID did for me.
Now, for some reason, there's still this narrative in America that black men are not fathers. Black men walk away from their kids. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Now, that's still a narrative out here that
What?
black fathers are absent. Now, you are a father too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how important is it for you to be that role model for your kids?
Very important. Jay, like, man, you know, I got two boys. Two black boys in America at that. You know,
Real.
I got to be around for them, because I was, if I don't teach them, who else gonna teach them? Put it like that. Of course, they mama, they family. But what I mean by that, as a black man, who's gonna teach them? You know what I'm saying? You don't want your kids to come around the wrong person and have them doing the wrong thing. You don't want your kids learning from TV. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your kids learning certain things that can alter their future. So with me doing what I'm doing, I'm showing them that there's multiple ways to make it as a black man in America. Like my oldest, he wants to be a YouTuber.
Right.
Why? Who on YouTube all the time?
Man, it's a shorty out here getting to it on YouTube.
Exactly. Think he on Nickelodeon now. If we talk about the same person.
Yeah, and he on toothpaste and everything. Boy, he getting to them sponsored dollars and everything.
So it's like my son he sees certain things and he know who Shorty is too.
Right.
He see me out there on YouTube. It's like, he wants to be a YouTuber and we've already started his page. We gonna get started on production because at the end of the day, I got to be behind it. I want him to be I don't want him to be a follower. That's one thing that I've never been as a follower. So yeah, I mean, you as a black man raising kids, whether it's a daughter or a son, they need us. So for America, you say who say this? America,
bro, it's still out there.
America. Look,
I don't see it. I don't know any.
Me neither. You a father,
right? I don't know any fathers that's not there for their kids. Mm-hmm. Even if they not with the mother, like they still there.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of that, I know of fathers that may not be there for their kids, but want to be there for their kids, but they getting blocked.
Facts.
Think about court. Think about all these fathers who paying child support and can only see their kids for certain days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? That's
to even have some shit like that. A rule like that. Like, why would you?
And it really only pertained to black men. So if America talking about that, they talking about the system they created, which is affecting our black homes.
Facts.
You don't see. I mean, of course, there's some white people that's in that situation too, but who do you hear about majority of the time?
And that's the thing. We can go back to media with that. You know what I'm saying? Like even with everything that's going on in Chicago. So that's why I felt it important for me to ask you that question. You know what I'm saying?
It's a very important question.
Because if we don't put our own narrative out there, then they gonna keep painting whatever narrative they want.
Yep, and you know what? By you saying that, I want to shout out the Tribe, Chicago. The Tribe. It's the TRIIBE.com. I want to shout them sisters out over there because they've been holding it down on when it come to media and really getting a real story out there from what this other media shit show you. They got our backs. They show you the true narrative, and I want to shout them sisters out because I remember before they started the Tribe, and they were working for other publications, and they built their own. Tiffany Walden, Morgan Elise built their own site, and man, y'all been holding it down for us. So keep up the amazing work.
Now, if there was one piece of information that you could just lead the people, what would that be?
Damn. Oh man, if I was to leave some, I want to leave some that hopefully y'all do. Don't just listen, go do it. I mean, you have to be a person that's willing to learn new shit. I had to use profanity because I mean that. You got to be a person that's never afraid to get uncomfortable, because once you get comfortable, that's when trust me, you're not doing what you think you're doing if you're comfortable. I'm never comfortable. I'm always in an uncomfortable position. I mean, doing radio to this day, it's just I do it, but I always keep an uncomfortable feeling because anything could come with radio. Same with music. So you got to keep yourself uncomfortable and try new things. Don't ever shy away from trying new things. And you have to understand at the end of the day, know why you doing what you're doing. If you don't fully understand what you're doing, or you just doing it for a bag, you fucking up. I'm telling you that right now. Everything don't revolve around a bag. Though people say, money is everything. No, it's not. Sometimes you just gotta learn. Learning, to me, is one of the biggest things. So you can't base everything off of a bag and money. And then success isn't always being famous and blowing up and having riches And, success is not always based on that. Success can be happiness. You know what I'm saying? So once you all really look into what you want to do with your life and then understand the outcome of what you're doing, as well as understanding people around you, then you good. So hopefully you take what I just said and ball it up and put it in your pocket and unfold it later. So,
all right, let the people know where they can find everything iLLANOiZE.
Shit, everything. Okay, well, first and foremost, download that iLLANOiZE app. It took me what? I don't know how. I'm trying to think of how long it took me to build it. Took me some time to build that thing. So go download that app. Of course, you got Jay's conversation with Jay on there. You got iLLANOiZE radio on there. You got Swain Session podcast on there. We got more podcasts coming, more radio shows coming. So the app is one of the biggest sources you can get. It's available now on Google Play and the Apple App Store. Of course, you can visit iLLANOiZE.co. Everything is under that one hub as well. That's not .com. It's iLLANOiZE.co, okay? For me, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at official Bekoe, Facebook as well. Everything is official Bekoe, Bekoe. Or you can just search Bekoe. Again, search iLLANOiZE on all your platforms as well. We there. Search iLLANOiZE. Okay, not Illinois or iLLANOiZE with an S. It's iLLANOiZE with a Z. And yeah.
This was an important conversation with Jay. You feel me? For the simple fact that I want to say I met you around 2013, 2014.
Damn, it was that long ago.
You feel me? And here we are 2020, you know what I'm saying? Trying to figure this shit out together.
Man, bro.
So, man, shout out to your growth. Shout out to you always being 100. You know what I'm saying? If y'all listen to these, whether it's on the iLLANOiZE app or you watch it on YouTube, if you watching it on YouTube, thank Bekoe for that supreme audio. You feel me? Because he taught me that trick. You know what I'm saying? Now that shit just glistening.
I was on his ass too. Like, no, bro, we can't be using no camera audio.
But that's why I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw somewhere I was lacking in. You was like, okay, well, let me help him. You feel me? Improve his product, and I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying?
Problem. So each one teach one, my brother.
Chicago, y'all need to get in tune with this man.
Hey, before we get up out of here though, I gotta salute you though, because you said 2013.
2013, 2014.
I just know it's been a long ass time, and you've been supportive of my career in general, from music to media. You've been super supportive, super 100. Nothing's changed on your end. Like, it's always been love.
What can I say?
Your work ethic is crazy. So, hey, big shout out to you for taking that call when anytime I called, and us making it a long way, and we still got a long way to go.
For real.
So,
hey, until next week, man. Conversations with Jay.
Yo, it's the Big Pod, Swain Session Podcast. Hey, check us out on the iLLANOiZE app right now.